Hello everyone, welcome back to the Yavneh AFL Media Arts Studio vodcast. We're up to round 7 in the AFL, but it's time to go through again like we normally do with our introductions, but we're joined here this week by Carlia Slade of Year 11, Izak Sztrochlic, of course, Jack Boymal, and Mr. G Goldstein. How are we all?
We are superb.
Mr. G, you would be superb, wouldn't you? But let's not get into it yet. Let's talk about briefly recapping round 6. And I'm going to kick it off with Carlia. Who do you barrack for again?
Carlton.
You mean that circus team? Lol. No, I'm joking. That was actually the wrong button.
Can't say much about Collingwood.
Oh, snap.
Snap.
Wah, I agree. All right, Carlia, Carlton supporter, 3 Collingwood supporters, and a cheese platter over there. Carlia, tell us about the Carlton Lions game.
It was just very disappointing by Carlton's behalf. Obviously Brisbane beat Carlton. Disappointing efforts by, Eddie Betts, kicked 3 points, all from shots that he should have taken.
I didn't even watch much of it, but how did Cripps go, your superstar player?
Cripps is, over the past few years, he really just hasn't lived up to the hype, really. He's just kind of faded into the background, mainly also because, we've got a lot of young players, a lot of promising young players. So the spotlight's kind of off him, but he hasn't really had any standout games of recent times.
He's just worth so much cash, and he's not even coming up with it. And let's not forget what happened to Collingwood Carlton. That was... As a Collingwood supporter, we live in the past a lot. Sorry, Carlia. But thank you for that recap, Carlia.
Before you go next game, just something that is quite big that came out of that match is Lachie Neale, Brownlow medalist, out for 2 months.
Oh, okay.
2 months injury. What do you reckon they'll do for Brisbane?
You know what? It's not Collingwood. I don't care.
I think Brisbane will be fine. Lachie Neale will get a nice break, come back fresh for finals.
Yeah.
And another thing to consider is that he's copped a hard tag most weeks, so I think they'll be all right without him.
Gotcha. Well, there you go. Oh, here we go. Mr. G. Your magical demons. I'm surprised your head is fitting through this podcast booth, the staff room. There's just so many cheese platters upstairs in the staff room. I don't know what to do first. And you know what? Mount Buller is going to be very empty this winter because if all the Melbourne supporters decide to go to the footy for once in their lives, it'll be pretty packed. Tell us about the Melbourne game.
What more is there to say other than taking the Premiers on their own patch and completely destroying
Sorry, your mic's gone. Sorry, what was that? Sorry, I'm just sick of hearing Melbourne. Anyway, sorry.
All I need to say is 6-0, beating the Premiers by 34 points at their own game. What else could I say? Come on. 6-0.
Very good.
What is this?
It was something.
Very big game, that one. And something else that huge that came out of it was Dusty injured. I think it's 2 or 3 weeks.
Just the concussion.
I believe he had some soreness as well.
Yeah, and he's gone home to New Zealand for the 12-day break, but he'll miss their game this week and hopefully back for the next one for the Tigers because they're in a bit of strife.
Gee, that's another big one we'll get into soon.
Oh, come on. Guys, Melbourne, you don't win, as I say at Bullying Temp, you don't win flags in April, all right? So give me a break. Okay, next. Oh, here we go. Okay, well, the last game I'm going to recap on because I can't recap everything. I'll start it off. Yep, I was there. Level 1, MCC, Anzac Day, Collingwood Essendon. And the worst thing wasn't losing. The worst thing was rocking back up to Yavneh and having to deal with the copious amounts of Bomber supporters, Mr. Home, our IT support, our drama teacher. Everyone happens to just jump on this bandwagon of the Bombers. Morris Lonham as well. Let's not forget one thing. You won Anzac Day. That's fantastic. Well done. That's all great. But when was the last time you won a final? 7,000 days ago? That's a big hashtag lol. So I don't know what to say about Collingwood, but you know what I say? That goal, that tipper, the ball was out. I blame it on that. We lost because of that. And that we didn't play good for last quarter.
Yeah,
Jack?
I think the real thing that let us down, not one bad umpiring call, some of the worst ball use I've ever seen Collingwood the worst I've ever seen Collingwood use the ball. 67 turnovers, 47% efficiency inside 50. When we went inside 50, majority of the time, we stuffed up.
Wow.
We couldn't hit a target. It was horrible. And credit to Essendon. Their forward pressure was incredible. Darcy Parish, the Anzac Day medalist, 42 disposals. And
Yeah,
two
well,
goals.
you know what? Dane Swan won a medal as well for over 40 possessions, so whatever.
Yeah, but just going back to what Jack said, I mean, like, the chemistry between like the defenders, mids, and forwards just was not there on Anzac Day. I mean, disposal efficiency was terrible. And by the way, got a lot of hate for my tip for going with Essendon, but I was right.
Oh, good one, Strockers. You're
yeah,
just a
just wanna say
genius.
that.
You're a traitor, and I think you're a dumb sheet conspirator, Carlia. I
And-
can't stand. Anyway, moving on. Let's get to round 7 because I'm over it. First game I've got here, Tigers versus Dogs. Strockers, can you keep this brief because you tend to just go on and on. Hashtag Strockers going on and on and on.
All right, fair enough, Mr. D. But anyway, going to that match, I mean, I think it's kind of clear who a lot of people are projecting to win this match. I reckon the Dogs will win it. I mean, looking at Richmond's performance last week, I mean, 48% efficiency. I mean, once Dusty went down, they were just
Dusty.
out of it.
Those dogs are coming. The dogs are coming.
Honestly, I don't see anything different happening this week. I mean, I don't see the Richmond winning. I mean, honestly, they gave up 336 plus disposals against Melbourne. I mean, the Dogs come into I reckon they'll go 7-0 this week. I mean, Dunkley's out for 3 months, but I reckon Dogs by 27.
Carlia, Tigers, Dogs. What's your tip?
I'd have to agree with Strockers. You know, Tigers just haven't been playing as well as they should have, and the Dogs have a very good track record this year. So based on
Yeah, true.
stats, I would go with the Dogs.
Who let the dogs out? Who let Treloar out of Collingwood? You know what?
Ned
He
Guy.
walked. He
That
walked
was
out
Ned-
on
no,
the.
that was Ned
He
Guy.
walked out
That
on
was
the.
Ned Guy.
He walked out
Ned
on the
Guy,
club. He
Ned
walked
Guy,
out on the
Ned Guy,
club.
Ned
Walked
Guy.
out on the club. Okay, Mr. G.
This is the type of game Richmond bounce back well to, but I think Dusty and Lambert are
Dusty.
bigger losses than Dunkley is. Dunkley, they just bring the next guy in. Bulldogs midfield is
True.
scat.
True.
Bulldogs should win. They are my tip, but I would not be surprised if Richmond pull this out of the bag.
Yep. Jack, quick tip.
I agree with Mr. G. Like, Tigers tend to, play well when their backs are against the wall, and I think they'll be hungry for victory, but Bulldogs just too good. Could have been the game of the round, but no Dunkley and Dusty makes it a little not as exciting, but I've got the Bulldogs by 17.
I've got Tigers by 10. They're going to come back. You'll see. All right, here we go. Pies versus Suns. Oh, huge game, this one. Mr. D and Jack are going to be talking about this. I'm going to talk about it briefly, Jack. Put it this way. I can't make the game because...
Shabbat.
just can't make it because I just don't want to go. Yeah, so...
Shabbat, because it's Shabbat.
Who's going to win? I'm going to keep this brief. Who's going to win? I think Pies should win, but you know what's going to happen? I think something scary is going to happen, and we're going to lose. So, yeah, Carlia, what's your tip?
I don't know. I'm going to have to go with Gold Coast.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. I've just got this feeling, and just the way that Collingwood's been playing lately, I just don't.
I agree.
don't
Something's
see that.
definitely not right. Strockers?
You know, Mr. D, I think there's a lot of prejudice coming into Collingwood this season. I mean, they've had a lot of good seasons last couple of years, and everyone's just expecting them to come back and win a lot of games and everything like that. But to be honest, being at about 1-5 at the moment,
Yep.
I don't know if I'd back them. I mean, Suns did come off a huge upset.
Yeah,
last
Strockers,
week.
we know because you never back
But-
Collingwood. You're some Collingwood fan, and
It
yeah.
is at the MCG. I'm going to go the Pies by 11 points.
Yep.
Back to
Jack?
business.
Well, last week I said Ben King or Sexton, they need to step up if they want to win games, and that's exactly what happened. Ben King kicked 5 goals, and the Suns beat the Swans by 40 points, which is incredible. So Suns are in good form. What's his name? Brandon Ellis
Yep.
playing terrifically. Hugh Greenwood playing incredibly. And we're getting Degoe back, hopefully, which is going to be huge for us.
Degoe.
I think we are very capable of winning this game,
Yep.
but Collingwood haven't given me enough to trust them. I wouldn't be surprised if we win, but there's just not enough evidence to say Collingwood will win. So I've got the Suns by 7 in a
Gotcha. Mr. G, quick tip.
Well, Gold Coast lost to Carlton at home. If Collingwood don't win this game, I think the season's going to be over for Buckley a lot quicker than we think.
Don't you
if you're
dare.
not beating Gold Coast
I
at
agree,
home,
I agree.
then you're on North Melbourne levels.
Calm
I know.
down. Calm down.
And no, yeah, we've got North Melbourne next week. Anyway, moving on. Let's go. Crows versus Giants. Mr. G, your feedback and quick tip. We need to get through these.
Crows' hearts broken by Hawks last week, and they'll be looking to bounce back on their home deck. With no Phil Davis, I reckon Taylor Walker will not be stopped. I'll tip Adelaide at home.
Gotcha. Jack?
Yeah, I think Adelaide by 6. They had their hearts shattered by the Hawks last week, and they'll be looking to bounce back on their home ground.
It's pretty funny the last 5 minutes.
It was, and I think something big is that because the Giants don't have Phil Davis, they don't have a man that can stop the big Texan Taylor Walker.
Yep.
So, yeah, I've got Adelaide by 6.
Strockers, quick tip.
Yeah, Crows, just a consistent performers this year. I'm going to go the Crows by 12 points.
Carlia, what do you reckon?
I also agree. Crows on their home ground. Like, I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
In Crows.
I agree. I'm not interested in this game either because there's no Collingwood in it. No, I'm joking. Look, I don't know. I think Crows on their home ground, and I'm not going to pick against the Crows because of what happened at Yavneh when I did. I got in a... Moving on from that, anyway. Next game we've got is Saints versus Hawks. Jack, your feedback on that and a quick rundown and tip.
So, true story, I was watching the St Kilda Port Adelaide game and I fell asleep. I actually fell asleep. It was so... Oh, it's not a joke. It's actually not a joke. Yeah.
Well, yours kind of like this.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it was.
I've been told to stop using sound effects and stuff.
No, I think you should keep using them. Just maybe
cool,
tone it down a tiny bit.
No way. I mean, haha. It's a funny joke, that one. Jack, go ahead, mate.
Okay, so Saints, they only kicked 5 goals last week, and obviously Hawthorn got their win, their second win of the season. And yeah, look, I think the Hawks will be too strong. I know they've only won 2 games, but the Saints look clueless going forward. They what was it? 33% efficiency inside 50.
Wow.
So yeah, they were very poor, and the Hawks were good last week. And just based off last week, Hawthorn should get the job done. Hawthorn by 15.
Wow, Mr. G.
I think it's a disaster if Saints lose this game, but Brad Hill's injury lets them finally get rid of him without dropping him. I'm not sure how he's kept his spot with his form. I think St Kilda have to bounce back, otherwise this is dangerous territory for them. A team that was actually tipped to take the next step coming into the year are going to find themselves 2-5. It would just be a disaster. They have to win, and I'll back them in.
Strockers, quick tip.
Honestly, Mr. D, just another boring game like the GWS Crows one.
Ooh, big call.
Honestly, I don't know. Saints Hawks, it's a boring game, but I mean, I'm gonna go the Hawks by 3 goals. Not expecting too much out of it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Carlia.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it'd just be a pretty vanilla game. Those two teams. Like, I don't know. Saints were expected to, have a good year, but they really just have underperformed this year. So, I don't know. I'd have to go with Hawks.
Do you know any Saints supporters in your level?
I do.
And isn't it? You're a Carlton supporter, but I mean, they made 2010 and 2009, and there's been a long time between premierships, and I thought they'd be up for it, but it's just hilarious, isn't it?
Yeah, it is quite funny actually.
Oh boy, I'm picking the Hawks, even though I can't stand the Hawks either. But yeah, all my mates are all Hawthorn supporters. What do? You have to deal with all their flags that they won. Moving on from that, Lions Port is an interesting one. Carlia, can you kick us off with this?
No, it will be an interesting one. Lions have really upped their game this year, but Port Adelaide are looking at serious. They look like serious premiership contenders for this year. Port will probably dominate in terms of physicality.
Yeah.
Noting that Lachie Neale is out, so they have one of their best midfielders out.
That's huge.
But no, I'm very much tipping Port. With Charlie Dixon dominating, just dominating.
Yeah.
And Robbie Gray, said to kick lots of goals. I reckon I'm backing Port.
Is it at the Gabba or is it at?
It's actually at the Gabba.
Yeah, it is at the Gabba.
Yeah,
I still would go for Port too. My tip is Port. Yeah, I'm going Port because I just think that loss is too big. I agree with Carlia 100%.
Interesting tip because I know we spoke about it a couple of weeks ago. I mean, I think Port's such a powerhouse team playing at home.
Powerhouse, they call the power. Ha ha. Yeah.
Funny one. But yeah, I think it's such a powerhouse team. Similarly, Brisbane when they're at their home deck. But I'm going to go Brisbane by 2 goals because honestly, I think very similar performance-wise. But I think considering it's just played at Brisbane's home, I'm going to back Brisbane.
All right. Jack?
Obviously, Bulldogs and Melbourne, they're 6-0 and they're playing amazing. But I think Port are on the same level as them. They are Port Adelaide have been outstanding this year. They dropped one game against West Coast in Perth, and it happens. They lost a game. But besides that, they're playing impeccable footy. Charlie Dixon, Travis Boak, career best form. They'll be too good. Power by 29.
Mr. G.
Well, I agree with Jack what he says about Port, but after their last interstate troubles, they still need to prove to me they can win interstate and more out of Victoria and out of Adelaide. They seem to struggle when they travel to Sydney, Perth and Brisbane, so I'm going to give Brisbane the tip here and see if Port can prove to me that they are as good as the teams right at the top.
Huge. All right, we got through that one. Swans versus Cats. Strockers, give us your tip and rundown.
Yeah, you know what, Mr. D, I don't know what to think about this match. I mean, I'm tossed between the two worlds that are coming into this match because Cats, they came out of nowhere last week, nearly beating West Coast by 100 points. But on the same token, us Swans
Just on that.
Exactly right. And
Dom Sheed, where were you there? Why didn't you kick the 3 goals there? Where was he?
Saving it for Collingwood.
Oh,
yeah, but no, good stuff. But anyway, on the same token, Swans did lose by 40 points to Gold Coast. So,
Yeah.
I know it is being played in Sydney. I mean, Swans did show some very promising signs earlier in the year, especially at the home deck down at the SCG. I think it'll be an absolute thriller. I'm calling it game of the round.
what?
Game of the round.
Okay.
Swans by 3.
Jack?
I feel like people are forgetting that Sydney are 4-2, aren't they? Their first.
No Franklin. They're just going to drop down, mate.
Their first 4 games looked incredible, but what happened? GWS and then Gold Coast. They smashed them. Oh, sorry, GWS didn't smash them, but Gold Coast smashed them. So I have no idea what happened. Very well could be Buddy Franklin. That lack of that big forward presence. But yeah, Cats destroyed the Eagles. Jeremy Cameron.
Yeah, blah, 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 Cats.
Blah, blah, blah. He
I don't care. We should have got Cameron, but,
perfectly.
we got rid of Trelaw instead.
And I think it'll be a high-quality game of footy. I think the Cats will play as they did against West Coast, and I think the Swans will play as they did the first 4 rounds. I think both teams will kick over 100 points, and the Cats will win by 11.
Mr. G?
2 weeks ago, I was singing Sydney's praises, and they've let me down ever since. So they were so disappointing against Gold Coast, and Cats finally look like the team that might threaten. I think it'll be an easy win for Geelong.
Yep. Carlia?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to tip Geelong as well. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about it.
Yeah, I don't really care much about the Cats and Swans, but I do have something to say to a teacher out there, and I just want to say, look, where is that? Yeah, here we go. Just want to say I'm very sorry to Mr. Four for backing West Coast by plus 40, and I regretted it. I had nightmares that night of Mr. Four messaging me saying, oh, what happened to your pies? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, we get it. You won at Cardinia Park, try win at the MCG.
You also tipped Richmond by over 40. How'd that go for you?
That didn't go well for me, but you know what? It's all part of the, how about we just mute your microphone and we all keep it like that. All right, next game. Oh, this one's huge. And by huge, I mean it's going to be literally a circus game.
I reckon we could skip this, to be honest.
I reckon we could too, but Mr. G, Roos versus D's. Could you get any more ridiculous than this?
I agree. We like to skip the North Melbourne game, but man, if we lost this game, I'm out. I'm out.
I tell you what, if you lose this game, you're going to have to rock up with I'll get 8, what's his name, Merowitz?
Leo.
No. Who's the North Melbourne supporter?
No. You guys lose every week, and I do not make you wear the opposition colours.
Yeah, true that.
Well,
All right.
I've got something I think the AFL should consider. What's the point of them playing this game? It's going to risk injury, and then North aren't going to win.
Oh, let's just
them
take it
money as
easy.
well.
Yeah,
Seriously. It's going to
all right, quick tips, guys. We're going to get through this. Mr. G, Melbourne by over 50, do you reckon?
I have to tip Melbourne because we're 6-0, but
Yep.
the more we win, the more scared I get that a loss like this is coming.
Yep.
But nah, go D's.
Jack?
I'm going to have to say North Melbourne by 3 points. No, Melbourne by 87.
Isaac?
You know what, Mr. D? I mean, Jack Zeeble last week, 38 disposals.
Yeah.
I mean,
How did Steve-O go?
Every single one of them on his own goal line.
that is true, but I mean, good, very good. Senior player, showing a bit of, a bit of support for the other players, role models. So,
Yep.
I reckon North Melbourne by. No, I'm joking. I'm gonna go Melbourne by at least.
You're using Jack's jokes.
Yeah, but I thought
It's
of
been
it
used,
originally.
It's been used, Strockers. Come up with your own.
He's very welcome. He's very
You know,
welcome.
it's not like,
we,
you know-
we can share them. We're sharing a microphone. We can share jokes. It's
Exactly.
fine.
And your notes, I can't see your notes. My notes, I can't see them from here, so I
Oh, yeah.
can't. But yeah. But I do have other powers like muting microphones like Mr. G's. All right, Carlia, who's your tip for this?
Yeah, Melbourne,
By how much, you reckon?
at least 20 points.
Yeah,
Conservative.
that is very
At
conservative.
least, yeah, no, it's very conservative. But
Well, that leads us to your mob against Essendon, who beat Collingwood on Anzac Day. Yeah, blah, blah. But Essendon versus Blues. Carlia, this is a big game for your crew.
you know,
Tell us about it.
Essendon have been traditional rivals of Carlton.
Yep.
Yeah, after Essendon's performance against Collingwood over the weekend, I don't know, it's given me a few doubts. I was going into it thinking, oh, you know, Carlton 100%, but after Essendon's performance over the weekend, I'm doubting it. Hopefully Carlton can get their act together and, you know, show us some conversion from, you know, getting that momentum and getting some goals. 'Cause,
Yeah.
you know, we love to, you know, push the ball forward, but we get there and then the other team turns it over very easily. So
Yeah.
it'd be nice to see some goals being scored by Carlton. I really hope we do not lose to Essendon.
I reckon, look, my tip, and it'd be quick, I think Carlton are going to come up and under 10 points. Please, please, please beat Essendon. Even though I can't stand Carlton either, I just can't bear to look at the Essendon supporter staff here at Yavneh and deal with, demons, sorry. I thought that was you. Bombers. Thank you, Carlia. Strockers, quick tip. And by quick, I mean just tell me who you're going to pick and by how much.
All right, I have one thing to say before I give my tip. All right. Regardless of which team wins, I'm going to hear the team that wins supporters saying, we are making finals this year.
Yeah,
Regardless. That's what's going to happen.
Okay,
However,
gotcha.
I think I'd prefer the Blue supporters to say that they're winning finals or they're making finals rather than the Essendon supporters. So I'm going to agree with you. Blues by under 10 points.
Jack, quick.
I think if you're 3 and 4, you can make finals. So whoever loses here will not make finals. They're pretty much Essendon by 17. I'm not going to go through that.
Mr.
Essendon by
G.
Well, they're both going to lose next week, so don't worry. Unfortunately, this week, one of them has to win because they're playing each other. I think Essendon will, I really hope Essendon. I just love seeing Carlton go.
I know.
Like, seriously, it's more enjoyable.
No,
than
actually,
Collingwood.
I'm a bit sick of it.
I'd rather Carlton win than deal with Essendon. Carly, I'd rather you be happy than
Thanks.
Mr.
If Essendon win, Mr. Joel Parasol, he has been running his mouth a lot about Collingwood, so
Yeah,
if Jets
yeah.
lose, I'll be excited.
Okay, cool.
back
Well,
to
you
it.
know what? He's going to be wearing a pair of sneakers and running away if he loses this. Get it? Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Okay, now we're moving on to our segment that we've been enjoying the last couple of weeks.
You're
It
forgetting
is
a game. You're forgetting a game. You're forgetting a game.
West Coast Fremantle.
West Coast Freo. Oh, come on. All right, Jack, give us your quick tip and why.
It's the Perth Derby. The Eagles were horrible last week.
Yep.
They don't have Shannon Hearn or McGovern. The Dockers are 3 and 2. Mundy and 5 playing incredible.
Yep.
I think the Dockers are going to pull off an upset and win by 25 points.
Wowee.
Yep.
Carlia?
Yeah, Dockers.
Dockers.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Strockers?
Yeah, I'm going to go Dockers by a goal. But before I
Okay.
pass the mic on to Mr. G, lately, last week, I was actually on YouTube and I actually rewatched the Andrew Gaff versus Brayshaw incident.
Yeah.
From a
Oh,
while
yeah,
back-
that's
a
right.
while
Yeah,
back.
yeah,
It
yeah,
just
yeah.
brings me back memories whenever we get to these games, Perth Derby. Honestly, controversial call, but I reckon Gaff should have gotten over 3 months suspension.
Strockers, this is all great, but we're not on 3AW. I need just a tip, mate. Otherwise, I'm
but
going
it's
to
related.
mute your microphone. I said quick tip.
Mr. G, what do you think, by the way?
I think Dockers are finally knocking on the door, and we finally got ourselves a derby to be excited for, and I think Eagles are just that little much better.
Thank you. I was going to say everyone's a bit too chicken to pick Eagles. I'm
Mr.
picking the Eagles.
Mr. D, you look eager to dissect this Andrew Gaff incident. Should we talk about it for a bit?
No, we're literally running out of time. My sponsors said we've only got a few minutes left, so let's just get to the next segment, which is... No, that's not a theme. This is the theme. The Big Calls theme. the big calls segment. Welcome to the final part of the podcast, which we really need to get through very, very quickly. Who's got a big call? I've got one, but Carlia, do you have any big calls? It can be anything from now until the end of the year.
Pies won't make bottom 2.
What bottom 2
Thanks
won't?
for that.
Thank you so much. Thanks. I feel so nice.
I'll make bottom 3.
Bottom 3.
Yeah.
Jack, do you have a big call?
I do. Should Pies start focusing on rebuilding, or do we go for finals this year?
Well, we're not going to answer it. We're just going to hear your big call. I think I'm kind of we're running out of time.
You are rebuilding.
We are
No,
rebuilding.
I think we are, and also I think people are saying, Collingwood, we're washed. Like the amount of young talent we have, McCreary.
Yeah.
We're gonna get Nick Dacos. We've got Josh Dacos,
Yep,
Rantel,
true.
Nathan Murphy. Our future is looking bright.
Can I just point out, from an outsider, that's what everyone else believed going into this year. It was only Collingwood and their president and coach who thought otherwise.
You watch your mouth on the ex-president. Anyway, Mr. G, any big calls?
Yeah, if David Teague doesn't start ditching his 40-year-old players and bringing in the young
Yeah.
guys, he's not going to have a job.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Huge call. Look, Carlia, who's your favourite Carlton player, would you say?
Sam Walsh probably at the moment. He's just had a few. He's probably played one of the out of Carlton. He's probably played the best.
Yeah, true.
He's contributing a lot more than Cripps is. Right
Yes.
now.
100%. My big call.
Did I ask?
Brought upon myself.
Hashtag Strockers being the host now. What are you doing, mate? Go ahead.
We'll have to say. Dustin Martin.
Dusty.
Is he a make it or break it for Richmond Football Club?
What do you mean?
We saw last week, I think it was a while back as well, he was out. Richmond played terribly. Last week, he got injured early in the game. Richmond suffered heavily against Melbourne.
I mean, if any team in the comp's losing the best player in the league, they are going to struggle. He's that good.
But
The best player. We all know the best player is Mason Cox. But anyway, moving on.
But as in, Richmond came in favourites against Melbourne last week.
Good one.
And the fact that Dusty got in, Dusty went out, they lost by 36 points?
Yeah,
6
but that's
goals.
the thing. He's the best player in the league. If you shut him down, you're going a long way to beating Richmond.
Carlia, would you swap Walsh and Cripps for Dusty?
Oh, that's a difficult
very
one.
good. It's very good.
That's a very difficult one.
Well, the pressure's on.
That should not be difficult.
What's the?
What do you mean?
Carlia's going to
It
answer the
is.
question. It
It's
is difficult.
What is difficult about it?
I want Carlia to answer the question.
No, if you think about it, Dusty's an incredible player. Cripps is underperforming. Dusty plays better than Walsh.
So your answer is: would you swap Walsh and Cripps for
no,
Dusty?
I would not though.
Really?
Boom.
Correct.
Where's
Correct.
the explosion?
That is
Carlia dropping the bomb.
That is completely fair. Sam Walsh, what is he? 21.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He
He's a
could be
young
better
guy.
than Dusty, and Cripps is also. He's not even 30 yet. And
Yeah.
when he gets back into form, don't get me wrong, Dusty incredible, arguably top 5 players to ever play AFL. But I'd say he's got 3 more years of being dominant, and then
Gotcha.
And then we
Yeah.
watch Christian Petrarca.
Petrarca.
who will be playing for Collingwood?
All right. Here is the last big call, and it's mine. Here we go. You ready for it? Carlia, please don't laugh. Strockers, please back me up because you never back me up. Jack, I know you will back me up because you're the proper Collingwood supporter. And Mr. G, if you laugh, I won't cover any of your yard duties like I did last week.
Don't say what you make.
Collingwood
Don't say it.
will
Don't say it.
turn it around
Don't say it. Don't say
and
it.
make
Don't
the
say it.
finals.
Don't.
They will not.
They will make the finals and we'll see what happens.
I don't know. Mr. D, I'd love to have you back here, fellow Collingwood.
Oh, you never have my
Yes,
back.
Mr. D, I went for Pies this week. I called Pies losing last week.
Carlia,
Lost
do I have
last
any
week.
chance with that big call?
No.
I mean,
No.
we're
I would say not.
17th at the
But
moment.
I'll point one thing out. You have Gold Coast, then you have North Melbourne.
Yes.
Win those 2 games, who knows? But no, you're
Yeah.
not making it.
All right.
Absolutely not.
Well,
Everyone, Mr. Daskalou is in something called denial right now that we're not good.
Yep.
And also, why do we keep cutting off Strockers?
Because
Do you give him permission to talk?
I do give him permission to talk. Relax. He just Strockers is just
Come
a bit
on,
of
Mr. D,
banter, a bit
come
of banter. It's because he picked against Collingwood for
Mr.
week
D.
after week, and he got his tips right. That got me really annoyed. Yeah.
How about I'm gonna make an open call here. Suggestion. How about we make a poll? See what the fans say. Maybe I host it one week and you sit in my chair.
That is
How about that? Jack, what do you think?
Strockers. I think
It's a good call, but Daska, you've got a bit of announcement.
putting
to make,
Hutzola.
don't you?
I think you're coming down with the temperature, mate.
Daska, you wanted to talk about something about being proud.
Oh yeah. I'm proud of everyone in here. Okay, so
okay.
here we go. we are going to wrap this up for round 6 recap and the round 7. I just want to say thank you to everyone here. Thank you to Carlia, Strockers, Jack, and Mr. G Goldstein. This has been the Yavneh AFL Vodcast round 7. It's going to be huge for the week. And don't forget to like the video, subscribe, share it with everyone. We need to get those sponsorships deals. And please join us again next week. We will catch you then.
Mr. D, before you end it, don't forget 10,000 views. Yavneh Vodcast merch, as Jack said last week.
Get around it. Go Pies!
Go Pies.
On the Blues.
See yous later.